Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. The 12th hearing on proposed Senate Resolution number 826 is hereby called to order. May I call on the Director General, Atty. Kimbo, to inform the subcommittee on who were properly served the subpoenas and are present today and are not present today.
May I proceed, Mr. Chair? Those who were served by subpoena yesterday were Mr. Antonio Cruz, ITP. No, sorry. This is subpoena. Those who were served yesterday, Mr. Antonio Chu, Mr. Laureano Gregorio, a helper at the house, told our server that she is not allowed or is authorized to receive any document. The municipal engineer, Mr. Guillermo Delen, Mayor Manuel B. Alvarez, but the counsel for Mr. Alvarez says that they are invoking Senate versus Ermita, thus his failure to come. Mr. Manuel Luis Quizon, Ms. Amelia Calderon, administrative aide, said he is on leave and had instructed her not to receive the subpoena. Mr. Ray Eleuterio, caretaker, and Mr. Ray Dumandan, caretaker, both received the subpoena, but the server, did not receive because the server was not allowed to enter the premises of Sunsham. Previously, those who were served subpoena but are invoking also Senate versus Ermita were Mayor Jejomar Erwin.
But those are not for this
Not for this hearing.
Okay na po yan, nadaanan na natin yan.
Yes.
Okay, so for those who have been properly served and are not present today, please issue this show cause order.
Yes, sir.
For them to explain why they should not be cited for contempt.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And can you please continue and recognize acknowledge our resource persons and witnesses present this morning and administer the oath to the first-time witnesses.
Those who are here, Mr. Chair, are from the Securities and Exchange Commission, the chairperson, Attorney Teresita J. Herbosa. And then from the Department of Agrarian Reform, Mr. Secretary Virgilio de los Reyes. From the Department of Public Works and Highways, under Secretary Asis, representing Secretary Singson. Architect Mariano del Castillo, Survey Division, Bureau of Design. Engineer Dindo Macabante, Survey Division, Bureau of Design. And Engineer Denver Adobo, Survey Division, Bureau of Design. Also here are former City Vice Mayor of Makati, Mr. Ernesto Mercado. Engineer Mario Echanova, former Department Head, General Services Department. Attorney Bondal, Renato Bondal. Mr. Nicolas Ching Enciso VI. From the Philippine Stock Exchange, Mr. Hans Sikat, representing Mr. Jose T. Pardo, who's chairman. Mr. Federico Cuervo, President and CEO of Cuervo Valuers and Advisory. From the Philippine Institute of Architects, Architect Danilo Alano. From the GPP Board, Executive Director Santiago. And COA Chair, Attorney Maria Gracia M. Pulido Tan is also present. Those who are here for the first time, kindly stand and raise your right hand. Those who are here for the first time. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings? Thank you. You may take your seats.
Maraming salamat, Attorney Kimbo. We will try our best to end early today because I have a Justice Committee hearing at 12:30. So let's try to end at 12. Okay. After today's hearing, we will this subcommittee will have to address the matter of the disciplinary matters, especially upon those who have defied and consistently defied the subpoena of the Blue Ribbon Committee. Okay, so pagkatapos po ng hearing na ito, doon na po tayo sa subject matter of disciplining people. For the record, Atty. Kimball, wala yung Makati dito. Hindi na sabihin. So, in fairness to Makati City Hall officials, no, because you may have noticed that they're not here. They have not been subpoenaed for today's hearing, but their absence in the previous hearings, they have to answer for that. No? Okay. So, Senator Trillanes.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. This morning, we'll start the hearing with the presentation of the report on the ocular inspection that we did last Saturday. The ocular inspection. Mr. Chairman, last Saturday, nag-conduct po tayo ng ocular inspection dun sa Makati Science High School building na di umano ay overpriced din kagaya ng Makati Parking Building. Next slide, please. Ito po yung basic facts na nakita natin doon sa mga dokumento na naisubmiti sa atin coming from the City Hall and Commission on Audit. So, ang cost niya to date is 1.3 billion pesos. Yung floor area niya, based on the measurement doon sa as-built plans, is 18,373 square meters. And tatanungin natin mamaya yung DPWH if they got the same figure. Then, 54 classrooms, but based on the inspection last Saturday, 34 classrooms lang. The other 20 are the laboratories and the other rooms. So, ginawa na lang natin 54 classrooms. So, 6 phases na siya to date. Next slide, please. Ito po yung iba't ibang lugar dun sa high school na yon. To be fair, maganda siya, bago, malinis, and compared to the public high schools sa Metro Manila and the rest of the country, talagang angat na angat po ito. Next slide. Ito yung standard na classroom. Yung mga upuan nagbabago kasi ito yung kanilang model classroom, maganda yung upuan. But the other classrooms ay wood yung upuan, but still, maganda siya. Ang observation lang namin dito is wala siyang ventilation, so mainit. Mainit talaga at yung mga parents daw, nagbigay sila mismo nag-donate ng electric fan para hindi mainitan yung kanilang mga anak. So, next slide, please. So, ito yung dormitory, yung canteen, and I think this is a stock room. Next slide, please. Ito yung kanilang, kumbaga, tinatawag nilang state-of-the-art na facilities. So, may mga computer laboratory sila, and other rooms na that's office lang yan. Next slide, please. Faculty room. Pero ito kasing nung nakita natin yung audiovisual room, pinakita nila, so maganda yon. Kasi speech laboratory and computer laboratory, maganda. But when we asked the city administrator and the building administrator, itong facilities, yung equipment na yon, hindi po kasama dun sa 1.3 billion. Ang kasama lang ay yung bare na construction ng building. So, wala po yung mga ibang mga gamit doon. Hindi kasama yon sa cost. Next slide, please. Itong may mga wear and tear, pero according naman dun sa aming mga experts na kinonsulta, these are standard na nangyayari talaga. So, wala tayong problema dyan. Next slide. Ngayon dito, yung 9th floor and 10th floor, hindi pa tapos. Ito yung nakita natin, ini-explain ng building administrator na hindi daw tapos yung auditorium. So, ito daw yung auditorium, kaya madilim siya, so talagang unfinished siya. So, 2 floors yan. Next slide. So, ito yung problema natin. Sinabi ko nung last time, tatanggapin natin yan na hindi tapos, as explained by the building administrator, pero sabi ko, checkin natin yung dokumento kung ito ay kompleto na. Kasi sinabi ng mga spokesman nila ni Vice President mismo, na ito daw po ay na-check na ng COA at pumasa na sa kanilang regular audit. So, next slide. Dito, merong document na sinubmit ang Makati City Hall. Ito yung tinatawag na Certificate of Completion and Acceptance. And since hindi nyo mababasa from there, basahin na lang natin. This is to certify that the proposed 10-story Makati Science High School Phase 6 located at Kalayaan Avenue, Barangay Sembo, Makati City, which was undertaken by Hillmarks Construction Corporation, has been found out to be fully completed on January 21, 2014. Acceptance of the aforesaid project is made of record as of April 28, 2014. It is understood, however, that acceptance of this project does not relieve the contractor of the responsibility of undertaking repair of the project within 1 year from the said acceptance. Repair. It was signed by Project Inspector Dennis Kakilala, Engineer Mario Badillo, OIC, City Engineer, and Honorable Jejomar Erwin S. Binay Jr., City Mayor. So, ito po ang malaking problema ngayon. Kasi, supposed to be, fully paid na ito at completed. Pero, upon inspection, meron kulang na 2 floors. So, yan po ang tatanungin natin mamaya.
So I think one scientific way of determining the cost of an infrastructure project is by having it appraised. And together with us during the ocular inspection were architect Alano of Philippine Institute of Architects, and of course Mr. Federico Cuervo of Cuervo and Associates. So, Architect Alano, did you try to estimate the cost of the structure that you inspected last Saturday?
Maybe I can just give a ballpark figure, but I haven't got into the further details. But more or less, I can, on a conservative side, it will be about 25 to about 28,000 per square meter. That's my appraisal.
You have a background in, you do that in your line of work? You always appraise infrastructure projects?
No, I make estimates of some projects, sometimes my project or my friend, architect friend's project. And then once I get the total, then I divide it with with the area, so I arrive at a more or less on a per square meter basis.
So that you gave us a per square meter amount. So to arrive at the total cost using your amount, let's determine first the area.
Yeah.
Diba? I-multiply natin sa square meter. So I think we invited the DPWH engineers and architects. Sir, were you with us during the ocular? Can you please identify yourself and then what you did and then give us the figure?
Your Honor, I'm Architect Mariano del Castillo.
Proceed, the Architect del Castillo.
During the ocular inspection, what we did was to validate randomly the measurements based on the furnace plans given to us by the Senate. And then, as it appears that it is somewhat the same. So we did was the random checking on the penises. Okay, and with that, and again, based on the electronic file given to us, we came up with a total floor area of about 19,162 square meters.
19,100 square meters.
162 square meters.
So 162. 19,162 square meters.
19,162
square meters.
May we know what you included so that I will now get the opinion of Architect Alano and Mr. Cuervo if this area should be included when you appraise an infrastructure project. So can you describe, sir, Mr. Architect Del Castillo, ano po yung 19,162 square meters? Ano po yung mga kasali doon?
At the ground floor, it has an area of about 1,995 square meters. That is the same with the basement. Okay. And at the second floor, nagkaroon po kasi ng recess ng building, tsaka lumiit po yung area, which is about 1,718 square meters.
Teka, 1,000?
718.
But yung ground floor, ilan ba? 1,000?
995.
Okay, nagkamali ako. 1,995. Okay, sige sir, continue.
And then, at the third floor, less yung mga may open areas po doon, yung tinatawag as per plan, ang tawag doon atrium, ay lumabas po na 1,623 square meters.
1,623
square meters.
Okay.
At the third floor. And then, at the fourth floor, it is has the same area with the second floor, 1,718.
Okay.
And at P floor, the same with third floor, 1,623 square meters. And then at the sixth floor, the same with second floor, 1,718 square meters. At the seventh floor, 1,623 square meters.
Okay. Sige sir, continue.
At the eighth floor, 1,718 square meters.
Mm-hmm.
And at the 19th floor, although it is incomplete, it has an area of about 1,908 square meters.
Okay.
And at the 10th floor, which is what we consider a balcony, kaya may open area po doon, it has an area of about 1,281.52 square meters.
You included the balcony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sige. So,
And at the roof deck,
may roof deck, okay.
yes, Your Honor, about 241.50 square meters.
0.50.
Yes, Your Honor.
And from your experience, if you were to arrive at the cost per square meter, you include all of this. From your point of view, from your experience.
Actually, Your Honor, I cannot because the mandate of our Bureau Design is only on the preparation of plans as well as the review of design plans for public buildings. The costing as well as the preparation of program of work and detailed cost estimate is being undertaken by the Bureau of Construction of the DPWH, Your Honor.
No, but when people kayo, architect kayo or engineer kayo, when people talk about cost per square meter, na kahit anong project, you would include all of these areas na binanggit mo, including the roof deck. You would include the roof deck.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sige, any one of you can answer no, from the DPWH. You're familiar with the cost of classrooms, cost of building a classroom or a school.
We have a colleague here, Honor, from the Bureau of Construction. They can.
Who is here? Can we call on that colleague? Figures lang naman. From the DPWH's point of view, what is a typical school building, and then the cost divided by classroom, number of classrooms, we can get the cost per classroom. Sige, sir. Can we call on the colleague? Join us. Sige, sir. And that,
Luis Quizon, Miss Amelia Calderon, administrative aide, said he is on leave and had instructed her not to receive the subpoena. Mr. Ray Eleuterio, caretaker, and Mr. Ray Dumandan, caretaker, both received the subpoena, but the server, did not receive because the server was not allowed to enter the premises of Sunsham. Gregorio, a helper at the house, told our server that she is not allowed or is authorized to receive any document. The municipal engineer, Mr. Guillermo Delen, Mayor Manuel B. Alvarez, but the counsel for Mr. Alvarez says that they are invoking Senate versus Ermita, thus his failure to come. Mr. Manuel, previously, those who were served subpoena but are invoking also Senate versus Ermita were Mayor Jejomar Erwin.
but those are not for this
Not for this
hearing.
hearing,
Okay na po
sure,
yan.
sure.
Nadaanan na natin yan.
Yes.
Okay, so for those who have been properly served and are not present today, please issue this show cause order.
Yes, sir.
For them to magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. The 12th hearing on proposed Senate Resolution number 826 is hereby called to order. May I call on the Director General, Attorney Kimbo, to inform the subcommittee on who were properly served the subpoenas and are present today and are not present today.
May I proceed, Mr. Chair? Those who were served by subpoena yesterday were Mr. Antonio Cruz, ITP. Sorry. This is subpoena. Those who were served yesterday, Mr. Antonio Chu, Mr. Laureano